what kind of games did you play as a little kid? This is a question that has been boggling my mind for like a few hours, and I'm like, what am I gonna make this video about? And that's all that was going through my head this morning. And then I was like, dude, just think about it. What day is it? And today's Wednesday. But tomorrow's Thursday, which is even better. So I was thinking to myself, I'll make a video for Way Back Wednesday. And Throwback Thursday, pretty much the same thing. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing anyways. And I'm like, that's a really good idea, actually. So, like, I'm Nightmare X, welcome back to my channel, and I hope you have a fun time. So, I was just thinking, like, what kind of games did you play as a kid? And I had to go way back. It's Way Back Wednesday. I'm not messing around today. What kind of games did I have when I was a little guy? My introduction into the world of gaming was actually a little unexpected, a little different from a lot of my friends. Most of my friends out there had PlayStation, some kind of PlayStation. I never had a PlayStation anything. My introduction into the gaming world was basically a Game Boy Advance and a desktop computer. So I'm like, all of my friends are playing PlayStation games and PS2 games, and I'm over here with a Game Boy Advance, like, they're over here with these little controllers, and I'm over here with this giant handheld thing. And no one played desktop computers. I'm like the only one that I know. Well, besides people that played The Sims, you know. People like The Sims, but when I mention other computer games, they're like, what's that? Like the old ones that took CDs, and they don't know any of them. So, since it is Way Back Wednesday, I went like as far back as I could possibly think, and really thought about some of the computer games I had. My Game Boy games, I can't really show them right now. They're at Ashley's house. I left them. That's my girlfriend. So yeah, I left my DS bag, and it has my Game Boy and both my DS's, the Lite and the DSi. So yeah, that sucks. And all the games, so that sucks. But I still have my CDs from when I used this old dinosaur computer. So let's look back at some of my oldest games. Alright, so I was looking through the CDs to see what I had, and I found something. This brings back a heck of a lot of memories. I used to love this. This is the first game, the first Grand Theft Auto, and then there was number 2 in London. So yeah, that's what's in this. And actually, this one goes up here, actually. But yeah, I only played the first one, and it was a lot of fun. But I don't remember much about it because Mom didn't know I was playing it. I don't really remember how we got it, but that's a new one. That's a new copy of the same games. So after she found out I was playing them, at first. She took them away, and I don't know what happened to them. But I don't know how we got them. I don't really remember. Because that doesn't seem like something Mom would have gotten when I was like 6 or 7. But she did, and I played it, and I remember having a lot of fun smashing cars and getting chased by cops and jumping the bridge so they couldn't get me, and smashing the cop cars. That game is a lot of fun, but, you know, it's a bad message. Thankfully, there was no one talking in the game. Like, now, the Grand Theft Auto games are just so bad about language. Like, these are the only ones I've played, to be honest. But I've seen things from 5, and I want it, but, like, at the same time, I don't. Because of the language thing, and I'm like, I'm just gonna put it on my wish list on Steam. Because another thing is, Grand Theft Auto 5 is, like, really expensive. Like, even though the hype is dead, like, I mean, it's still a good game, so I guess that means it should be expensive. Like, that's just messed up. That's messed up, bro. Okay. So then, this one I'm really excited to talk about. I talked about it in a previous video. This is the demo for SpiderMan 2. And it was a lot of fun. It was a kind of a different Spider-Man game. I mean, I know it was just a demo, but the ending sucked. Like, okay, there's 3 missions. That's the whole game. There's 3 missions. You gotta stop a jailbreak. People are breaking out of prison. And then, there's a boss fight. You gotta defeat Rhino. And we all know that's my favorite Spider-Man villain, so, like... Actually, where is Rhino? I'm not letting this opportunity slide. Where the heck is he? What did you do? Are you hiding? So yeah, uno momento. Here's my little buddy. So yeah, this is Rhino. He enjoys breaking cars into tin foil, throwing Spider-Man across the city, and just wrecking stuff. And when you get one giant mixed up with another, you get a really good fight. So I've been thinking, what if Rhino here was to have a little one-on-one with Daredevil? Because, you know, Spider-Man and Daredevil actually have a lot of the same villains, and, like, it would be a pretty cool experience. I would like to see that fight. You know, Defenders just came out. You can introduce him. Come on, guys. Defenders is still on hype, a little bit. I love what they have done with those guys. I don't know much about Jessica Jones, though. I never watched her show. So yeah, the first mission is to stop a jailbreak. Some random thugs are breaking out of prison. The second mission is to defeat Rhino. And then the third mission is to web sling around town and collect 50, I think it is, coins? Like, who wants to do that? Who wants to do that as a mission? And that's how you end the game. That's how you beat the game. You gotta collect a crap load of coins. And I'm like, you know, Why couldn't they have slipped in Dr. Octopus or something? But it's a really fun game. I think I just love the fact that Rhino's in there. You know, he was in Web of Shadows, and they could have made him a symbiote. They had the perfect opportunity. That was the game where, like, everyone was becoming a symbiote. Black Cat, Vulture, a freaking Wolverine. And Rhino was in that game, and they didn't make him a symbiote. Nope. I mean, Venom is tough, and Rhino is tough, and I guess the guys that made Spider-Man Web of Shadows were like, if we put those two things together, it's just gonna be too powerful. And I'm over here like, no, it won't be. No, it won't be. Have you seen Edge of Time? That was a great Spider-Man game. Anti-Venom was way worse than Venom was in Web of Shadows. So I'm like, it'll be fine, okay? Make Venom Rhino. Do it! Do it, Activision! Activision needs to come out with another Spider-Man game anyway. Homecoming just came out not too long ago, okay? Spider-Man Homecoming, still haven't seen it. I really want to. Alright. Next is a classic. The first Sims game. I never got to play The Sims 2. There was 1 and 3. That's all I got to play. But The Sims 1, it was really fun until I got The Sims 3. And I've never played 4 either. But I just made families like crazy on both of them, The Sims 1 and 3. But I was like 14 when I got The Sims 3, so that's not a good, that's not worth it. It's not far back enough. This is way back Wednesday, alright? So yeah, The Sims 1 was new. It was something that had never been done before. There's never been a life simulator. There's been a grass simulator, which is painful, and just, why did they make that? But then they made a life simulator, and you would think that would be bad. You would think it would be like that, what the heck was that? I learned, I had this one class, it was a computer-like class in high school. Anyways, there was this game that we were playing. You had to, like, juggle bills and think about what bills to pay and what to wait on, and, like, where you were gonna live. That was the first thing you had to choose, where you were gonna live. And then you had to think about how things went over the months. Yeah, that's basically what it was. A month was a level, and like, like, and you got accidents, like, oh, your roommate fell off his bike and broke his tooth. You gotta take him to the dentist. Like, using your debit card. It's easy to get in debt, but hard to get out. I'm like, why do you say that every time I use the debit card? Well, now I'm in debt. I'm literally in debt, so yeah. But yeah, The Sims was a way better life simulator than that game, whatever it was called. I know someone from my school is going to see this, and they're going to be like, oh, that was whatever. But anyways, I really did love The Sims, and I think everyone that I'm friends with on my old Facebook says the same thing. So, The Sims was like kind of revolutionary to the gaming world. Did you know The Sims 3 was once the holding the how do you word that? Holding the award for best game in America. At one time, The Sims 3 held that award. But that was before Minecraft and GTA 5, so I don't know who holds that now. So yeah. I don't know. Another classic, another amazing game that you probably don't know, have never heard of, Freedom Force. I love Freedom Force. I would play that thing over and over and over. And I know it's the same exact story, but the story is amazing. And not only the story, like the way you fight, the way you control your characters, the way you move, the way you have more than one person on each mission. It's just so yeah, that is really just a nice stroll down memory lane. Very happy I found that game for way back Wednesday. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? Now you guys are going to watch this and you're going to think like, oh, it's Wednesday. No, I'm going to post this tomorrow, so it's going to be Thursday when you see this. So, but what I really liked about Freedom Force was the way you fought the enemies. The right-click system, that was just something, I didn't expect. I thought you would have to move with, like, the arrow keys, or WASD, but no, you click. I didn't expect that. It's a really different style of movement, and when you're fighting the enemies, I think you right-click, and that lets you select on them, and then you select your attack, because it's a game about superheroes. They have different attacks, and it's like, I think it's Silver Age superheroes, so it's like really fantasy-like, and like really old comic books. That's what you gotta put yourself in mind of. The Silver Age. And what I like the best about Freedom Force is, like, when you're fighting, it's a challenge, It's difficult, and it's a rush, but it's not, like, impossible, and at the same time, it's not, like, way too easy. A lot of games nowadays, and even a few years ago, are, like, either one or the other. There is no challenging and a rush, but it's fine. You're gonna get through it. That doesn't exist anymore, and Freedom Force was that, and that is just so. Freedom Force was one of my favorite games growing up, if it wasn't my favorite game. And when Part 2 came out, Freedom Force versus the Third Reich, which is basically Hitler's army, that was a good game too. It wasn't as good as the first one, but it was really good. They brought in a lot of new characters, and they didn't really give their story. I think they were planning to make a third one, but that never happened, so. And the ending of the second one was really cool, though. You gotta give them credit for trying and bringing out that character that was basically the embodiment of the thing that gave all of them their powers. That was cool. Well then. Anyways, this game is really something. Yeah, I knocked it out of its case because I dropped it. This would have to be like my second favorite game when I was growing up. It's not going to get a very good picture. Is that even the right way? Yeah, it is. It looks upside down when you reflect it like this. It's actually more like that. Yeah, that's the right way to hold it. Populace, the beginning. So Populace is this game about tribal times, like shamans and warriors, and it's a very exciting game. Like, you have to be strategic. You can't just go into this blind, you know. You have to set up your camp, and then there's raiders and pillagers and people trying to take you down and destroy your tribe. And that's the point of it. Survive and conquer others. That's what you're supposed to do. And you get all these magic spells because the main character is the shaman. And it's a really interesting game. It's a new thing that I wasn't used to. I still haven't seen it like other places. So I'm like, this is very different from like basically any game I've seen still yet. And I'm thinking, this is something people should do more often. Like, no one has gone back to Populace. They made like 5 games or something, and then the idea of tribal games just, I don't know where it went. I want more games about the era of magic, the days that we actually used magic and lived in huts and built tikis and totem poles. Like, games about that time period, those are just good games. There's nothing else to say. So Populace had a lot of promise when I started playing it. You know, when I got through night 2, which was a very, very hard level, you know, the game really, what's the word? It oversold the point. Yeah, like, it was a little much. That's what I'm trying to say. The whole thing was a little much. Because, like, level 2 just so happened to be at nighttime. So that's, like, kind of disorienting and a little frightening because I was playing at night as well. So I was, like, hoping the screen would be bright so my room wouldn't be all dark. But no, it was nighttime. The second level was at night. And it just got harder from there. Like, level 2 was actually really hard. So I'm like, starting off strong, and I'm thinking to myself, this is gonna be an experience, right? So now I'm on mission, like, 8? You know, I never beat this game. Not once. There's, like, I don't even know how many levels. Like, it shows at the bottom before you select which mission you want to do. It shows how many there are. And I'm like, that is a crap load, okay? Starting off strong, okay? Like, I don't even know why. I mean, the series did keep going, and that's amazing because like they were so different. The concept of the game was different. The way the magic worked, that was different from other games that use magic, such as King's Bounty, The Legend. I mean, that was a game that used magic. I think. No, it used monsters. You had to fight with monsters. And you basically collected cards. Yeah. Actually a ripoff of Yu-Gi-Oh! And at the same time, a ripoff of the medieval stuff, King Arthur and all that stuff. It's sort of that time period, but it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff. It's basically a Yu-Gi-Oh! Game. Just now realizing this, and I played King's Bounty for years. But anyways, the magic you use in King's Bounty is like way different than in Populace. You get this basically column of spells that's just stuck over here to the side of your screen, and you have to select what you want to do, and it shows this big range of like how many things will be affected, because if it's in this circle, it's gonna get hit with this spell. So no, you're in the center of the circle, and if it's in the circle, the spell can be cast. That's what it was. So Populace was cool, and it was just, there was one thing that I loved about it. The lightning spell. And the tornado spell was really cool too, but it only took out like half of a building, you know? And it didn't even take out the bigger things, like the monastery, or was it just a church? I don't know. The thing that made the people that converted your warriors, whatever that was called, a hurricane spell wouldn't even take that away, or tornado, whatever. But if you used that lightning spell, you were golden. Like, and some of the spells had a limited use. You could only use some spells, like one time, or sometimes 3 times. Or there was one thing I hated about Populace. The mission with the dragon. Okay, so there's this statue of a dragon that doesn't have legs, and you gotta go to that statue and pray to it before your enemy decides, okay, our tribe has enough buildings and warriors, we're gonna pray to that statue. Because whoever prays to it first brings it to life, and it wipes out the other tribe. So that's basically the whole level. And it was very frustrating to like build up your tribe in that short amount of time, like not getting just wrecked by this dragon. But overall, Populace is an amazing game. Actually, I still never beat it, so like after I put my Dell back together, we should really consider getting an internet first, because it never had internet. I still use XP. Don't judge. XP is a good engine, So yeah. And basically, when I figure out how to webcam and capture like myself as well as my game, like put me in the corner, as soon as we get my Dell internet and then do those things, I should play Populous for you guys. Because it's a good game, but like, I want to play it my save, because you can only have one save at a time, so like, I think I'm just going to replay all the missions. That's going to be a challenge, because like, some of them were super hard. Like I said, the second ever one was crazy hard. Like, I didn't expect that. But the game just started off with really powerful stuff. Like, you didn't expect the second mission. You're never gonna expect the second mission. And then the dragon and the mission where you're getting the swamp spell, that's a tough one too. What I don't like about the game is your enemy tribe is the same 3 tribes, just reappearing. And when I started this off, I was kind of hoping, I would just be conquering tribes and I would get a different one each mission. But no, it's the same 3 tribes. Yeah. That's not... I don't like that. Don't like that. I mean, overall, I love Populace. Like I said, it's probably my second favorite game from those days. But the next game, probably my third favorite, was Ultimate Ride. Now, I talked about this game and the SpiderMan game in my video Get Good, and I plan to make a part 2 of Get Good. I guess this could be basically part 2, basically. But Ultimate Ride and that Spider-Man game, I didn't realize this. By the way, I didn't realize this. This Ultimate Ride CD is actually a preview. It says right on it, preview, on a big ribbon across the disc, and I never saw that until I made Get Good. I was like making the video like this, and I just happened to see the word preview, and I'm like, I haven't really looked at this CD in years, so that probably accounts for that, I couldn't really read well when I was like 5, so like I probably didn't know what that word was, so that accounts for that. And something else that I said in Get Good that you might not remember, Ultimate Ride and the Spider-Man 2 demo came from boxes of Kellogg's cereal. Back in those days, they gave away game CDs in cereal. There'd be like a CD in the bottom of the box, and it was cool. You get a box of cereal, you get a free game. If you had a desktop computer, you could play it. That was like early 2000s. I can't believe how much we've advanced, you know? Who would have thought? America! I love you guys. You know, 2007, we came out with the smartphone, and the rest is history. Okay? Like, but, 10 years has passed since then, and they kind of look the same. But, I mean, they're way different from each other, so that's good. They don't look it, but they are. USB sort of died out, which I'm disappointed about. They could have made some sort of adapter so a USB file could be accessed on your smartphone. They could have done that. Just plug your USB into the side of your phone and look at like a Word document from 10 years ago. Those USBs, like, you could not put a picture on a USB. It would corrupt so easy. But anyways, Ultimate Ride, basically a roller coaster making simulator, and it was really fun because you could like build a roller coaster and then ride it, and you could do anything you wanted. There was these things that made you go faster or slow down. There was, like, if you made a hill in your roller coaster, there was this chain thing you could get so it could go up. Unless you did that, it would just stop when it got to, like, a hill. And I think the best thing about it was the whole thing was, like, colorless. Everything was like this gray color. Like, you were on the moon, because the ground had, like, dips and craters in it. I think you were supposed to be on the moon. And everything was gray, and it was just different. When I made Get Good and I talked about Ultimate Ride, it wasn't long before that Jacksepticeye made a video about making a toy train track and just setting that up all throughout this house, this animated house. So I'm like, that is awesome. We advanced. We made a different sort of ride making and then riding game, but it's still basically the same game. Ultimate Ride is a lot like that game. You had this little wooden train and wooden train track pieces, and that was the game that Jack played. He just made a track all throughout this house, looped it around the furniture, and ran it like under the table and over top of the bed, and it was fun watching him build a track and then play it. And he was like, can you make the track like go out the door? Because you have to reconnect it to the other end, or it just goes off the track and falls off. But he was thinking like, when it hit the door, the train would go through, but since there was nothing past the door to this room, it would be like you couldn't follow the train anymore. I think that's what he was trying to do, but the train couldn't go through the door, so it just hit, and that was the end of his roller coaster that he spent like a long time making. It's sort of a roller coaster, but it's a train. I don't know why you would make a toy train with track that like goes up and around, so you can make it like coil around table legs and stuff like that. But that's what they did for this game, and I'm just like, you know, it's a different concept. Like, it's like Populace. You're never gonna see it again. It's a good idea, but you're never gonna see it again. I guess Tack was sort of like Populace. Hopefully you guys remember Tack. It was a Nickelodeon thing. It was on Game Boy Advance and GameCube? I hope I got that right. Maybe it was PlayStation. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I am sick. It's crazy. It's crazy. I caught strep throat, and like, once I got over that, apparently I got mono, but I didn't know about the mono until just here lately, and I thought somehow I still had strep throat, but it's been like a month, sort of. I also have a double ear infection, so right now I'm just getting over mono. Like, it's the tail end of its process, and right now I have a really bad fever, and I just feel like really hot, and yeah, both my ears are infected, so there's a lot of pain up in here, and like this part of my skull just really hurts. And yeah. It's been fun. Luckily, I never got sick to my stomach, so yeah. It's been fun. But yeah, that's Ultimate Ride. And the last game I wanted to talk about while we're talking about really amazing games from way back. 'Cause it's way back Wednesday, you know. The last game I wanted to talk about was Hard Truck 2. Now, I never played Hard Truck, but I played Hard Truck 2, and it's really, really fun to like screw with the possibilities and do what you want and not what you're supposed to be doing. So, Hard Truck is kind of like Need for Speed. It's a racing game, but you have to make your own way to the racetrack. And you're playing as a semi-truck. You can't switch out trucks, even though there's other cars like everywhere, and some of them look better and more suited for the job, but actually everyone in this race is driving a semi-truck. So yeah. Semi-truck, transfer truck, whatever you want to say. It's like the same thing. But another thing you can do, since you're finding your own way to the racetrack, something you can do is like run into other cars and just totally destroy other cars. And the logic on the gas station and repair shop was so broken. You could drive all the way through from the entrance to the exit and you'd be fixed. Whether you needed gas or repair, you know, whatever shop you went to, you could just drive through the building, basically, and you get it. So imagine you just smashed like 4 cars and you're driving away on the run from the cops, and they got a helicopter after you, shooting at you, and you just drive through the repair shop without stopping, and you're fully repaired. It was so fun. And like, the gas stations were kind of spread out, so, you know, you kind of had to be sparing and really think about where you were going, and make sure to not take the back roads and go like way too far from one gas station to the other, because you could run out of gas. You could run out of gas and be immobile. Okay. Another feature that I liked was you could call 911 and you wouldn't get arrested. Like, if your car was out of gas and drifting towards a river, which is something that happened to me a lot in that game, you could just call 911 and they would put you back on the road and you wouldn't get arrested for some reason. But also, you could run out of money and you couldn't use the gas station or the repair shop. That's something that could happen. I think it actually made you lose the game if you ran out of money. But yeah. So that was a thing. That's a thing that can happen. Like, so, by the way, Ashley said that she really likes these longer videos, so maybe I should keep making them longer like this. The last video, being almost an hour long, was a total mistake. I didn't mean for it to be almost an hour long video. And now this one is too, and I didn't really mean for it to get this long, but I was thinking it would be longer than normal. And yeah, 10-minute videos are my usual thing, but there's so much I could say, you know. My 10-minute videos are like not that great because there's just parts missing. That's like all I got. But I think this video is about done. Thank you guys for watching, tuning in today. I hope you leave a like and a comment and spread my channel around. I want to get popular. And this has been fun. Getting to go down memory lane and just sort of reminisce about the games you used to have and everything you used to do when you were like 10 or younger. Thinking about that stuff is good for me, because my childhood was pretty bad at times, but at times it was just fun. So I like remembering stuff. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm really glad that you stayed this whole time. If you're still watching this, I know Ashley will be. I guess I'll put her in the description again. I'll do that for you. Don't worry, babe. By the way, I hope you're having a good day at school. My computer just told me the battery's running low. I ran out the battery. It was charged. Wow. Yeah. So, I'll post this tomorrow. And peace.